Welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story. My name is Casey. We're going to be playing some Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and we are working our way through Vecna's Eve of Ruin. Tonight, we are talking about Neverwinter notables, but before we get there, our characters need to make their way out of the tomb in which they find themselves. The tomb of the Dolendar family, a very lonely clan who was sent to the city of Evernight, a city populated primarily by undead, located in the Shadowfell. The party found themselves there by interrupting a ritual that was trying to send some secrets to Vecna. They managed to survive an assault by ghouls, defeated the cultists of Vecna, made their way to the well, the local meat market where bodies are sold. They managed to trade someone in exchange for some favor and information, and they found their way to the Dolendar tomb. In the tomb, they faced off with some members of the Dolendar family who had been deranged and changed by the loneliness they felt, becoming sorrow-sworn. Defeating the siblings, they were able to kind of put the bodies back to rest within the caskets that they found. I believe they replaced the little silver placards that were on there, and the ghost who tends to the area is now tidying up. So Numi, the spirit, is moving around. Exploring the rest of the area, they found a series of 6 pedestals which have treasure sitting atop it, and we'll talk about that treasure in just a second. They also found a small room with a puzzle door on it, and they sort of peeked into that room and said, you know what, we'll come back to that in just a second because we want to see what's going on with this treasure first. So, what the party has in front of them are 6 pedestals. Those pedestals have some stuff atop them. The first thing that is sitting atop the pedestals is one pedestal has 2,200 gold pieces worth of coins neatly stacked up. The way that they're stacked is very reminiscent of what you might do of getting ready for a game of chance. So there's some copper, silver, electrum, gold laid out in even piles around, and then a more central spot, which would be the house or the bank account. It looks like somebody's setting up to play a game that has never been played. Along with that, there's a drift globe. The drift globe is sitting there, and you can see etched carefully into the bottom of it a map of the gate towns of the Outlands. You can see the words carved in fine detail. If the drift globe was illuminated, it would rise up and cast light, and as a shadow on the floor, those engravings would then form a, serviceable map of the Outlands. Now, those of you who've done some planar exploring know that the Outlands change all the time, but the gate towns around it remain consistent. So it's a good, measurement of this gate town is next to this gate town is next to this gate town. The stuff in the middle is kind of left to artistic interpretation. There's a necklace that bears the inscription, "My breath is yours, Kaveta. Take it." You've identified that necklace is magical even without touching it. You can tell it would be a necklace of adaptation. There's a book sitting on top of one of the pillars titled Out of the Endless Prison. It has methods of escaping the prison plane of Karshai. It is quite an impressive book, and Las-Dal can see just by how often those pages have been turned and the additional slips that are put in, it has been well notated, certainly a collector's item, and the Dolendar family are well known for being experts on the plains and really wanting to get out of places. The last item on a pillar is a miniature snow globe with a replica of the city of Neverwinter inside of it, one of the few map representations of Neverwinter, so certainly valuable for that, and a little bit on the illicit side. Lord Neverember might not be too happy to see that existing, but for that reason could be a collector's piece. The last thing is a very shiny golden helmet. That helmet has what looks to be 100 small settings that look like each one could receive a gem. And what we're about to find out is if the party is lucky enough that one of those gems or more might remain. So to open things up, what I'm going to ask the players to do is give us a quick introduction of their character, pick a number between 1 and 100, and then roll a d100 and see if they can find their number. If they do, that helm will still have one of those gems remaining and will get suddenly a lot more powerful and expensive. And for those of you who know the type of helm that might have 1 to 100 gems upon it of differing types, maybe you'll get excited about that. If not, we'll find out. Do we have a volunteer to go first and maybe opine on what they think about these treasures? Give me a number between 1 and 100 and a D roll. Loktar, I think I saw a hand up. Loktar, can I get a quick
I just want to
introduction?
go before I forget the number because
Sure.
the wife gave me a number to roll on. Loktar is a bugbear, a devout worshiper of the Trinity of bugbear gods, Haragek, Grankol, and Gigaret. And he finds himself here with this motley crew of adventurers looking at a pile of treasure, and obviously the gold is the obvious choice, but then also that snow globe, just for whatever reason, is kind of catching his eye.
Sure.
Maybe it's the illicit nature of it.
And what D100 number are we trying to get?
56.
56. Let's see a roll.
All right, here it goes right here. Oh.
70. We don't get to find out what the reward will be. Duren, Montgomery, Fortune, Las-Dal, or Telovere. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
You got it. Duren, quick introduction.
I'm playing Duren, our resident paladin. I'm a Furbolg, big old man, swinging a sword. And I am going to choose 29.
Okay.
I did not get it.
Did not get it. All right. We are down from a 6% chance to a 4% chance. Let's see if our remaining can go. Las-Dal, Fortune, Montgomery, Telovere?
Sure.
Las-Dal.
So, Las-Dal, our resident bard, troublemaker, forcer of planar travel without trying. I was told number 35, but I gotta go with being a bard. The number's gotta be 69.
Okay, 69 and roll it. If 35 comes up, you're going to look like a fool. But let's see what we got.
Yep.
31. Still okay. Fortune, Montgomery, Telovere.
Fortune can go here. I am playing Fortune, a Tabaxi rogue, soul knife rogue, who has a penchant for putting his foot in his mouth and starting things off maybe a little too soon sometimes. But I will go ahead and pick 87.
87. Let's see it.
Nope.
I knew. Oh, but you got a different person's number.
I won!
Unfortunately, not how this one works. Montgomery, Telovere, we're down to a 2% chance. Who wants to take the next set? We caught Telovere chewing. Good.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
So I play Telovere, the human necromancer, resident blood bag and collector of all sorts of scrapes, bruises, and cuts. Yeah. I'm gonna pick. You know what? I'm gonna be daring. We're gonna do something I've never done before. I'm gonna pick 100.
Okay. Going for the perfect roll.
That's a lot closer than I thought I was gonna get.
94.
Wow.
We're down to a 1% chance, and our last chance, Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery is a young human who was a death cleric, and he's been traveling for many years. So he kind of looks at the world a little differently than probably someone in his own age bracket. And I guess he isn't much of a gambler, so I guess he will try 33.
33.
33 just popped in my head. I don't know why, so we'll see what happens.
Oh!
Hey!
Montgomery!
Winner!
Well done. I am happy to inform you that the Helm of Brilliance has 1 gem left upon it. I'm going to need a D4 from you to figure out which gem that happens to be.
That's unbelievable.
A number 2. There is a single shiny diamond left in this helm of brilliance, making it a magical helm sitting there atop the set. That diamond will cause the helm to emit a dim light in a 30-foot radius when at least one undead is within the area. So if there's an undead within 30 feet, it shines a dim light. Good news, bad news, maybe for Telovere. Any undead within that light take 1d6 radiant damage per turn.
Oh no.
So there are some
Telovere is walking far behind us.
potential consequences to this
Well, it does fit
particular
in
roll.
with his background of not liking necromancy, right? So that's pretty funny.
So there we
That
go.
works.
So a close inspection of that golden helm reveals that one little diamond still sitting there. You can also use that little diamond to cast a spell, I believe, when you remove it. And I will get you the details on there. Prismatic Spray. If you should choose to remove that last diamond, you can cast Prismatic Spray one time. The helm then loses its magic. The glowing effect only takes place if you do attune to the helm, so right now it would be fine to walk around with. But these treasures sitting atop these pillars are maybe not as obviously trapped as that golden harp from not so many years ago, but they're very obviously treasures on pillars in a tomb. Is the
I'm
party
definitely
taking them?
looking to see if the book is trapped or if there's any type of mechanism around the book.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you start looking for mechanisms.
And I think Fortune is looking at the snow globe. Well, he's kind of looking between the map and the snow globe
Okay.
and trying to gauge the weight.
Oh, bad roll.
So, Las-Dal, you don't see any traps. Fortune, you've got a pretty good feel for the weight of the snow globe. It's a glass snow globe. It's a wooden base. There's water inside. You know, the carvings look like it's a combination of probably maybe the scrimshaw that's done with the knucklebone trout. So there's a little bit of bone done in there, a little bit of paint. Probably a water skin of approximately the same size. Pour out a little bit. You could, make a Indiana Jones if that's what I think you're starting to line
That
up
is
for.
exactly what I'm looking at.
Yeah, you could get to about that weight if you wanted to.
Okay.
Lost seems to be indicating there's no trap though. So,
I see nothing here. This looks pretty good, and I'm going to slide the book off.
you're holding the book. Maybe
Yep.
everybody else is holding their breath. Nothing seems to be happening.
Well, I guess it's okay then.
Last Fortune, can I make a suggestion?
What?
Oh, what would that be?
Hand
don't
like an
go-
inch away.
Don't go in there yourselves. Let my skeletons do it.
I'm already here at the book. I got the book in
We
hand.
should move our characters in there, huh?
Yeah.
You are, by far and large, one of the most ridiculous, boneheaded people I've ever had the displeasure of meeting.
That's saying
This-
something with all the skeletons you keep.
I was thinking at the,
Ah,
the
you're so
moment-
funny! Ha ha! I'm gonna have one of my skeletons take the necklace.
I was thinking the moment he sees Las-Dal remove the book with no consequences, he would sweep the gold into his little pouch there. Just
No problem. There's just like a absolute waterfall of coin as he sweeps his arm along into the pouch.
Just taking a look at the gold, you said it looked like it was like set up for a game. Would Lost Doll know like the type of game it was set up for?
So anything where you're going to have like stakes going on. So it could have been a poker, blackjack,
poker game, okay.
any of those
Okay.
sorts of games. Dragon
Poker
dice.
chip stack style.
Exactly, poker chip stack
Okay.
style, where you're splitting evenly and you've got a house. There would be a buy-in, but now it's all just a heap going into Loktar's set there. So as the party starts to remove the items, the skeletons come up and more carefully pick things up. No ill consequences, no traps triggered, no trouble so far.
I did want to bring something up because we didn't resolve it.
Mhm.
At the end of the last session, when putting the bodies back in the sarcophagi, I made a comment about Fortune
took a bone.
breaking like one of their little claws as it put it in, and then basically trying to like put it back together and put it in there like nothing happened. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to make sure it was up there.
Yep, you've got to and they don't really 100% fit real well into the coffins. The coffins were made for humans. These sort of had weird spidery spikes coming off of them in different angles. So there was a lot of like just press the lid down like you're packing and not everything fits. Just,
Like when you open the closet and everything shoots out of the closet.
yeah, so you've kind of got to like the big stone lid balanced atop them, pressing them down, but the person who like maybe pushes that lid off the next time is going to have a Jack in the Box effect going on.
Nice.
So with that, treasures are acquired. The other room that the party had glanced into, but not really had much of an opportunity to look at, is this one right over here. And am I on the right layer? I think I am.
So did anybody take the helm?
Ooh, did anyone take the helm?
I was saying, if you're not going to take it, I'll take it.
No, I was going to take it if no one else is going to take
Go
it.
for it.
I'm not
All
touching that thing with the 10-foot pole. And you better
Well,
stay at
here's the
least
thing.
40 feet
Is
away from
that-
me from now on.
Montgomery. Well, I'm thinking like you're usually towards the back, which is where Telovere is going to be, but he would be sending his undead into the front lines with me.
Yeah, it's better if Montgomery has it, so long as Montgomery can commit to not trying to charge up with my undead warriors and, killing them alongside the enemy.
You can make more, right?
Not easily.
You just got to take a trip to the Bone Zone.
Yep, Bone Zone it. You'll be good.
I don't think I can make repeat trips to the Bone Zone that easily, guys.
Got to work on that charisma.
Maybe we should buy some more bones while we're here with all this money, huh?
Maybe
Many of our foes contain bones.
You are, in fact, quite correct there. Thank you.
Maybe take somebody with you with some negotiating skills.
I think I did perfectly fine last time. Thank you very much.
You didn't get your Minotaur.
Well, that was a little bit outside of my price range. Okay, we're not going to talk about it.
Everyone's okay if I take the snow globe, right?
Go for it.
I will definitely take the Neverwinter snow globe. Actually, before that, Telovere, can I borrow one of your skeletons for a moment?
Oh, yeah, sure. Have at it.
Fortune grabs the skull and tries to pop it off and then swap it with the snow globe.
Skull of the skeleton?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it up to the DM. I'm inclined to say it probably wouldn't work just because I don't think decapitating a skeleton works that way, but also, like, this is D&D, so, like, I don't know.
I feel the necromantic energies are trying to hold it together, so like you probably reach out thinking you can just like disassemble them, but I feel like you just kind of pull, and it's the same as like trying to pull the skull off of a person. Like they're held together. Pulling it off would be the same as destroying it, so I think you just kind of did like a lift it up and drop it down sort of thing.
Okay.
Skeleton.
I was hoping to put the snow globe on the body, but that's okay. I understand that's not how that
You
works.
could put it inside the skull, like if you go up through the jaw area, you could kind of nest it in there.
Well, if you're trying to hide it, I can help you with that. It's very easy to hide it in the ribcage.
To be fair, I just wanted to. Just
That works
the
too.
idea of your skeleton warrior walking around with a snow globe of Neverwinter for a head. Who
Yes,
could
let's
resist?
maybe not make that public knowledge, though. I feel like that would be just slightly frowned upon.
That's fine. I'll slide it into my bag.
If no one else is going to, I'm going to take the necklace and the drift globe.
Certainly may.
So, does anyone have a problem with that?
No, I do want to make an etching of the map on the drift globe, but that's something for later.
Oh, that's fine.
What Loktar grab?
Gold.
All the coins.
Oh, sorry, gold.
2,200 in gold. Whoop! Actually, gold, copper, silver, electrum, and a few paladin pieces.
So what's left?
Say it again.
What's left?
I think everything has been claimed at this point. If Telovere took
Okay.
both the necklace and the drift globe, that is all 6 things.
I
With
wonder, why would these treasures be laid out in such a careless fashion?
I'm like reading through the book, looking at how meticulous and nicely it's put together, like
it is,
thinking the same thing Loktar just said.
it
You,
is
you
an
know yourself. You know, a nod is as good as a wink to a blind man, huh?
That's kind of it. And as Montgomery is referencing that, maybe you all sort of look back to the carvings that go around the base of each pedestal, which read, "What good are treasures when home is denied?"
Yeah. I don't know about them, but I think treasures are actually really nice to have, even if you can't go home. Look at me. Home is where my treasure hoard is, and I don't think that it really matters after that.
Spoken like a dragon?
I was just gonna say, which dragon are you?
To be fair, there were rumors that my grandmother had an affair with the dragon.
Okay.
Sounds
Teach
painful.
their own. I'm not gonna shame anything on anyone there.
And as the little bit of good cheer that you manage to muster just sort of dies away inside this tomb, and the loneliness descends upon you again, and you now have your treasures, and you're like, I can't wait to not be here so I can use these things. That sort of pressure comes back again. Echoing that pressure, or echoing that sentiment, in the next room over here, there is a doorway leading off to that side, east. The door in the east wall of this otherwise empty room bears the inscription Dolendar above, and then No World to Return. Each letter of each word is set into the wall in a separate tile, and the layout looks a little bit like this. No other markings on the door other than that depiction, the tiles in their grid array.
Could it also be read as Dolendar World to No Return?
Could be. You can word jumble that as much as you like.
Can I buy any vowels, Alex?
Yeah, so are they missing tiles? Or all the
Are
tiles
there any
there?
openings in there? Yeah.
Sure. So as you start to kind of lean in and all take a little bit of a closer look, I think Montgomery was the first one to ask. So Montgomery, can I get an investigation check from you, please? We'll lead off
Can
with what
I
Montgomery comes away
Oh,
from.
wow. That's,
can I help with that? Oh,
Can you? No. You are too alone to help out.
Oh,
In
oh.
this tomb, the
Oh.
party may not take the help action.
oh,
However,
wow.
an investigation reveals that each of these tiles are distinct and separate, so there is a small outline around each one. You give a little puff of breath in there, you can disturb a little bit of dust. There are none missing. The blanks are blank, and they all seem, fairly flush. You run your hand across it. The tiles look like they could be depressed, though. So they have that sort of a little bit of a standout that they look like you could push them in. All of the tiles look like you could push them in.
So, guys, it looks like we can push the tiles in, but I have no idea which ones to push or in what order.
Hmm.
what
That's
do we
a
know
lot
of
of blanks.
these Dolendar? What do we know of them?
They were world travelers. If Telovere was told correctly, they planar travelers.
And they were
They were
very
very
lonely.
They were very good mechanics and alchemists, as far as I'm aware.
What were the if Fortune goes to kind of look at the plaques, what were the names on the plaques again?
Sure, you go back to look at the siblings' planks, and those names were Nolan Dolendar, beloved brother, and Evisha Dolendar, beloved sister.
How is Evisha spelled?
Evisha.
No.
No, there's none of those letters on there. Hmm.
Can I go back and look at the pedestals and the coffins? Are there anything? Is there any wording on any of these? You said that the coffins on the outside were all.
On the
These out here, they were
on the
all
outside,
clear.
those coffins, those placards had been worn away, completely illegible. Even doing a rubbing, you get nothing but slight depressions, not enough to make out any runes, sigils, or words. It looks like Numi had been a little enthusiastic with her prestidigitations on those.
And then nothing on the pedestals either.
On the pedestals are the words that I read out earlier that say, "What good are treasures when home is denied?"
Home being denied and no world to return sound related. Perhaps the treasures have something to do with this puzzle.
I'm thinking no return.
It is.
Or-
Each individual letter can be
Pushed.
right.
No one has pushed any of them yet, but just running your finger over, you can feel there's a little tension behind it that you could poke at it.
Okay, I'm thinking that it might be a word that's spelled maybe out of the letters of each word.
Very possibly. Fortune kind of backtracks through the main hall and just looks at all the. I believe most of these didn't have any text. In the initial hallway where Yumi was.
Correct. Those are
But
the
do
ones that
any
have
of
been
them
worn
have?
away.
They're all worn away. Okay.
Maybe we should ask Numi if she knows anything about this.
Yumi,
Not a
excuse
bad
me if
idea.
you're not too busy.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Please, I mean, we're being very curious, perhaps too curious here, but there is the door at the end here that seems to have pushable text on it. Have you ever seen someone use that and perhaps know what it's for or perhaps what it's looking for?
No, I haven't. There's a room beyond it, but I'm not to clean it.
You're not allowed in that room either.
No, that room's private.
Okay. Do you know who it belonged to, or was that kept from you as well?
Oh no, that's the lady of the family's room. That's Lady Cavetta.
Oh, I believe there was a necklace addressed to her as well.
Right, like she was very fond of necklaces.
Okay, I think we can work with that. Thank you very much, Numi.
Of course. Tea
Real, yeah. Yes, is this with the with Telovere's tea bags?
with Telovere's tea bags. Yep.
Oh, then I will gladly take some tea. I did want to ask you too. The a little whisper kind of came along, and do you know if there's an earlier way you can get out of your contract here?
Um. No, I wouldn't think so. With the Dolendars all retired at this point, there would be no one to authorize me to break the contract. They did prepay for quite some time.
Okay, just thought I'd ask. Thank you again for all the help and the wonderful serving of tea. And then he'll kind of return and relay that Lady Cavetta appears to be the one who is in this room, the lady of the family, but even Yumi is not allowed in there, so she's not aware of a way in. Perhaps there's a clue on the necklace, though?
The necklace itself has an inscription. My breath is yours, Cavetta. Take it.
Perhaps the room beyond contains a poisonous gas of some sort.
To literally take your breath away.
Looking at the letters, does it look like there have been any pushed or any that may not have as much sediment on it?
Give me a quick
Some of these have been
survival
used?
check.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not much for survival.
Not much for survival. No, you don't see any marks or otherwise to indicate that any had been pressed in any recent time. In fact, not a lot of dust in here. Seems Yumi has been doing some cleaning. Maybe she wiped away
She
all those
cleans everything,
dang fingerprints.
earning that money.
If you all are amiable to it, perhaps we could just try one of the words, such as return or return to world. As
Yeah,
a phrase.
I was thinking about that.
I have an idea, and I think our DM might have been a little sneaky with some words he was saying when he said that we were too alone to help each other.
DM's never sneaky.
That's a suspicious nod. Um, you can spell alone with the words. There's a letter in each to be able to spell alone.
There is.
I can go ahead. I'll go ahead and try it. So I'm gonna first.
But before we do that, can I do an I want to cast guidance and do an Arcana check if I've seen or heard anything about like a magical setup like this.
Sure. So you give yourself a little boop and go ahead and give me an Arcana. So you have definitely heard of such puzzles before. They are certainly something that scholars would set up in their room. And with a 20, you've probably even heard the solutions to some of them. They tend to be a word that would be very important to the family, something that they would not have forgotten. But certainly give the opportunity for many mistakes to be made. There's a lot of tiles here, and most likely even one out of sequence would get you in some trouble. The fact that this door has no other fastenings, openings, mechanisms tends to identify this as a magical trap. A foot wrong here is likely to firebolt, cloud kill, lightning bolt, something bad. Is certainly awaiting those who would misstep here. As far as what the puzzle solution might be, I don't think it would give you any inclination there other than don't put a foot wrong.
Okay, do you guys want to back out while I?
Yes.
After hearing that, Las-Dal does some steps out here this way.
Wait, I thought you were the brave one here.
No, I'm just saying, so that if I do it wrong, y'all are dying with me.
Could we not have the
I'm
skeleton?
not trying to get a TPK from a trap.
We do have an army of skeletons if Telovere is amiable to it.
My other thing that tells me that this could be the word might be alone is the Dolendars. It literally says they had no world to return. So wherever they were alone.
Yeah.
And what good is treasure if you have no home to return to, or alone, or whatever you have it?
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
does.
I'm gonna try it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, so
okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm gonna tell you the order that I'm gonna press them in.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna first hit the A in Dolendar.
Okay, you go to press in the A in Dolendar as you start to push the pad in.
And I die.
No, you don't die yet. It sinks just a little bit, like a fraction of an inch, and then as you continue to press in, the whole word depresses. So the A depresses first, but the whole word goes with it. So the entire word Dolendar is now sunk in about a half inch into
Okay,
the
so
wall.
now I can't use any more of those letters. Cool. So then my next letter is the L in world.
Okay, you
Well,
press.
well, wait.
I do think.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
it
we're
would
not
have
watching
to be-
actually. We're just
Yeah,
waiting
yeah,
in the
yeah.
room.
Yeah, y'all just ran out. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
can just like elevator panel smash them all.
No, go ahead. I didn't realize we had left.
Loktar's long arm is going to reach over and close the door.
Duren depresses the
Yeah.
L in word,
Las-Dal does close this door too.
so the L sinks in. Now what?
Just the L or the whole world?
The whole world. The whole world sinks in.
The whole word.
Whole world. Peh.
Okay, so my next is going to be the O and 2.
Okay. The O and 2 sinks in, and the T goes along with it.
Okay. Then I'm going to do the N and no.
The N and no, and the O goes along with it.
And then I'm going to do the E in return.
The E goes in, as does the word return. With that, there's a little bit of a click, and the door.
Get your asses in here!
Duren,
Things are
I've
going to
never
happen,
been
so
so
everyone
proud of
please
you.
hold still for a moment.
Uh-oh.
As Duren gets to see something, and I get to ask everybody to go ahead and roll
Oh,
themselves
no.
into initiative.
Everybody
Duren,
say.
what
I'm
you
going to one-on-one this bitch.
what you see and others will shortly see.
Okay, let's roll. Always.
Oh.
The misshapen form of a woman slouches atop a sarcophagus across the room from you. Separating you from that is a floor that is covered in metal spikes and blades upturned. You can see that she's just reaching down and she's petting something within the coffin. Looks like she's stroking the bottom of the coffin. As she looks up at you, she reaches out beckoningly, and then you realize that her hand is just one long spike that's slowly elongating towards you. With that said, we're going to see who gets to go first. Gonna
Well,
click
Yeah,
what's
down.
you go
Duren's
have-
reaction to this? That's what I want to know, is how Duren reacts to seeing that.
You heard me yell, get your asses in here.
No, but that was before you saw it. I want to know the slowly creeping claw, how Duren reacts to that.
All right, let's see. So Duren will actually be the last to react, other than saying, "Get your asses in
I
here."
know.
So he turns to look back at you all, says, "Get your asses in here." Turns to look back, and then we'll have a chance to react. But first, we get to find out what Telovere's response is to hearing "Get your asses in here."
Let's see.
It sounded
Well-
excited, not scared, right? When he said it.
When in doubt.
Summon the skeletons.
No, I'm not going to summon skeletons this time. I would, but no. Instead, I am going to summon a shadow spawn. And I'm going to be making him let's see. Let's make him the despair. We'll make him the despair one. So I'm going to summon him right there.
Boop, boop, boop.
And that's going to be at 4th level.
Keep those abominations away from me.
Man, why do you keep? Why right here?
I'm gonna look at them and go, "There, it's not that I'm dead. Now shut up." And I am. I'm just gonna call my turn there. So I'm imagining all my monsters will go now.
All the monsters will go now.
Cool. Let's see. I'm going to do. Well, first off, I'm gonna put his health in. Okay. Yep. Let's see. So he is going to move 20 and 20. He's gonna move right there.
Okay.
And is the terrain in front of him considered difficult?
The terrain in front of him is indeed considered difficult.
Okay, cool.
Looks spiky.
Quite.
That was it. It was just a question. I was just curious.
Sure. Telovere, anything else?
No, as much as I'd like to do more, that's all I can do.
Montgomery.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go follow that thing. So 5. This is double movement through here.
Mm-hmm. No, just
10,
normal movement to there. Double movement on the spikes. But I believe when you
so
step
5,
close
10,
to the
15.
despair, you lose 15 feet of movement.
That is if you start your turn there.
Oh, if you start your turn there. Okay, so you
Yes.
do not.
So so long as he doesn't start his turn.
Yep. So you've got your full movement.
So I'm far enough away right there.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? It's all right if because I'm not going to move further anyway. So I'll just move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 right to there.
Okay.
So I've got a clear shot at Cavetta, right?
You got it.
Let's see. What should we do? I'm gonna use a sacred flame on her.
Sure. Dexterity saving throw.
Ooh.
Gonna fail. Takes 12 points of radiant damage. Does not seem to like that.
Yeah, I'm hoping she took extra from that. And that's it. That's
I
my
mean,
turn.
we just opened her door after so long, and you just shined light right on her.
Her pupils are like,
Yeah.
ew.
It's the
Loktar.
best way to make the cockroaches scatter.
Oh, damn.
Jesus. Okay.
All right. Loki's gonna go. Would this be like a okay thing to do? Diagonal through the door.
Sure.
Could that first move have been diagonal or no?
Yeah, you can diagonal down. So you can.
Okay, cool. Bam. That'll make me there then. And grow large. Rogek, be my strength, and I'll throw my little thing there.
Now, bugbears can squeeze down one size without squeezing, so you are keeping your feet on the little ledge there, not on the big spiky bits.
Your little toes are hanging on.
Just like whoa.
Little toesies.
Here it comes. And I'm throwing it, so no reckless, but here it goes.
Okay.
Nice.
25's a solid hit. Is that
That'd be a 31 acid.
31 acid damage? Good opener.
And 2. Oh, dope. That's not too good.
Was that a
13.
13? A 13 will miss.
All right. And then the last one because the gloomstalker dealing. All right, that's 2.
You got it. Big hits there.
That's it. And then I guess he'll just kind of brace himself against the other wall with his long arm, trying not to fall on the spikes.
Sounds good. Fortune. Oh, mute. Mute.
Nope.
There we go.
Yep.
So Fortune will move behind the shadow spawn, and I wanted to ask, the spikes and blades, are they high up enough to use as cover?
No.
No. Okay, they're all more like foot level, gonna slice up your feet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then I guess Fortune will just. Is this a double door, by the way? Because the door is in the middle of the 2 squares.
Yes, it's they opened up. Big kind of grand double door style.
Okay. I assume I'm not hidden behind the shadow spawn here for. Can I take a bonus action hide behind it? Actually.
Are you able to hide behind creatures? I think that's only a halfling thing, unless you have something else that I don't know about, because you're kind of being
No.
backlit by the brightness of Montgomery right now.
Very fair. Then I will just chuck a dagger. No advantage or anything here.
28.
Oh,
Who needs
baby.
advantage?
Well, I don't get any sneak attack, so it's only the 9 psychic damage on it.
9 psychic damage is still good psychic damage.
And then, since hiding wouldn't really be effective here, he will just bonus action dash and kind of move back around the corner, since he's not going to
Sure.
really do anything standing there.
Would you like the good news or the bad news?
Either or.
Okay. She's got arms, and that arm just
Oh.
reaches straight out towards you as you try and get
Ah.
out of her, and she tries to spike you, harpooning
And-
towards you.
13.
Does a 19 hit? She has
He had
advantage.
advantage.
Oh, she has
Ooh.
advantage. 19 definitely hits.
All right.
Yeah.
The spike arm goes into you, and it has back-bladed harpoons. You are grappled, the arm snaking past all the others and embedding itself in you.
Ow!
Fortune,
I've been
anything else? You are currently...
Did I take any damage, or I'm just grappled?
Oh, you take 17 points of damage, and you are currently grappled as you tried to get out the door and away from her.
Then I will go
So
ahead.
what was the good news?
The good
Yeah.
news is, it was only 17 points of damage.
Yeah.
No, sorry,
it's already
you would be
pretty
here.
rough.
So when you tried to pass out that doorway and get away from her, that's where the
that's-
harpoon attack.
She's got roper arms.
Yep.
I'm going to
Dang.
go ahead because I'm already low on HP here anyways. Use uncanny dodge just to half the damage, but still kind of get like stuck.
Sure.
I kind of picture it more like before having it try to pull back at him, he just kind of stops there and goes with it for a second, so it's not quite as painfully stabbing into him.
Sounds good.
So 17 half to 8.
Las-Dal, as you see Fortune kind of come around and head out the corner, you just see this ghastly white harpoon trailed by a fleshy tendril just slam into and spike into him there. What are you doing?
That's not what I signed up for. I'm going to cast Greater Invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And then...
I didn't realize we had so many 19s. Fortune probably should have gone first, right? Isn't it Dex order after that?
Players get to choose, but
Do we? Okay. Well, this is what we're doing now. so
yeah.
Just for next time.
All right, so I'm going around, and right next to Loktar, I am starting to spider climb my way up the wall.
Okay.
So in the red circle is my height above.
Okay.
How tall is the to get to the ceiling?
It is 15 feet up to the ceiling. From floor to ceiling is 15 feet.
Okay, so yeah, I'm 5 foot above the door then.
Okay. Sounds good. Las-Dal, anything else?
No, I can't inspire. So yeah, no,
All right.
I'm feeling too alone to inspire anybody.
Kavetta's turn comes up. Her other arm lashes out towards Loktar, who had done so much damage with those thrown Morningstar spear thing. Loktar coming at you with advantage. Harpoon, a 16 to hit.
Barely miss.
Barely miss. Good news. Bad news.
Uh-oh.
Could I have a wisdom saving throw? The DC is going to be a 15 from Fortune.
Uh-oh.
That's going to fail.
That is going to fail.
Oh.
Fortune. A pang of sorrow rips through your body, emanating from that harpoon that has you in it. You will take
Oh!
16 points of psychic damage. And
And he
then
just starts kind of weeping.
she reels you in
Oh no.
Over the spikes.
over
Well,
the
hopefully not that
spikes.
far. Oh, it's like all the way to her.
30 feet.
Mm.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. He's
Oh.
probably gonna get knocked out, dragged along there.
As you are dragged through the spikes, every 5 feet does 2d4 damage. You're looking at 64 spiky damage.
Okay, well I've got 7
54.
HP, so I need all ones.
This is not good.
18
Oh,
that was
points of
not
damage.
Not all ones.
Oh,
All right, Fortune goes down. The first one, basically, or no, probably the second one. So, just then gets dragged along face first through a couple blades.
It is all 1 damage, so you're not taking additional death fails from there, but it is a bloody mess of cat being dragged
Yep.
in there. Fortune is currently in amongst the spikes, still impaled by Kivetta's arm. But Duren, it is now your turn.
Okay. So I am going to 1, 2. I'm gonna go up here, and then I am going. What do I want to do?
While he's thinking, I have a question.
Mhm.
Maybe a stupid question, but she only has 2 arms, right?
She only has 2 arms. One is currently in Fortune. The other
Fortune.
one is withdrawn, not having gotten a hand on Loktar.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I am going to cast Magic Missile
Okay.
at 2nd level. Let's see if this works. Well, hold on, let me get the other 3. Okay, so that's 15 plus 4, 19 damage.
19 magical force damage struck. Ba-dup.
Or I lie, it's only 19 because they did the +1 on the
Oh, okay.
first. It's only 19.
Thanks for the honesty.
I was gonna say, didn't you just say 19?
I said 19. It's 18 is the correct number.
Okay, cool.
And then bonus action. I should have done that first, but is this when it says just weapon attacks, that's ranged or melee, correct?
Weapon attacks could be ranged or melee.
It just says, yeah, your weapon attack deals, blah, blah, blah. Okay,
Yep.
I'm going to cast Divine Favor on myself. Oh, I can't do 2 spells, can I?
No 2 spells in 1 round, unless one's a cantrip.
Divine Favor is
Okay.
not a spell, is it? Is
What?
that an ability? Divine Favor is not a spell, is it? Isn't it just an ability?
No,
It's in my first level spells.
First level
Middle
spell.
spell.
So I'm just gonna end my turn.
You got it.
All right.
Telovere, back to the top of the turn order. What's up?
All right. So I have a question. If I stand right here, am I going to get cover from that corner?
Yes, you would have cover from that corner.
Okay. Is it going to be half or full?
That would be 3/4 cover.
3/4 cover. Cool. I'm going to move right there.
I'm assuming you're
because
leaning out to do something, so at best you have 3/4 cover.
Yeah.
It's just a finger from behind the wall.
you still have 3
Listen.
HP.
I am at 3 HP. There's a reason I'm doing this, guys.
Oh man.
I am going to cast Blight on the lovely little harpoony thing.
Okay.
At 4th level. So I need a 15 con save throw from them.
Con save for 15. Can we do it?
Oh!
13 does not pass.
All right, so it's going to take full damage.
Full damage, all right. What do we got?
37.
37. It is necrotic damage, you say.
Yes, it is.
Is
All
she
right.
resistant and it's only half?
I've got good news. She is a monstrosity, not an undead. She is not resistant to
Hey.
necrotic. 37 points of damage strikes. The arm withers. It continues up. Her whole body withers, and she falls.
Oh.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well done. However, we still have a dying
Oh.
kitty in the middle of the room.
That's fine. I'll cast Spare the Dying.
Okay. You will see. Do we have any? Does he?
If that doesn't have range on it, Loktar would just step on the spikes to get
All right.
Fortune
Oh,
and
it's
grab it. And
So you know what?
hand
We'll
him
we'll
over.
play it through just to make sure that somebody does something without triggering one of my trap cards. Telovere, is there anything else that you're doing?
Only your
Not
trap card.
Telovere. But I am going to send my shadow across to the
Okay.
body, and I'm just going to decapitate it.
Oh, not
Okay.
not Fortune.
Not Fortune.
Not Fortune. Not Fortune.
That was a little concerned.
Does the shadow
No.
fly?
Let me double check. I don't know.
I don't think it flies, in which case I think it's taking damage from these spikes, unless it has some form of squeezy movement.
It does not. It just says 40 feet, so I'm assuming it's walking.
Okay,
so it will
40
take
feet
damage.
would be walking, so it would take some damage. 1, 2,
That's fine.
3, 4, 4d4 points of damage.
Would you like to roll them, or would you like me to?
You know what? I'll give it a quick roll.
Wait,
Sorry.
wouldn't it have been 8?
It is 8d4. Yeah, sorry. 2d4 times 4.
Sorry.
8d4 points
fine,
of
I don't know.
damage. 23 points of damage.
Okay. Cool.
As bits of shred of shadow just fall off, it then gets over there and just pops the head off of Kaveta. Montgomery, over to you. What are you up to?
I guess I will move forward, but now I'm not so keen on getting spiked there. Sorry, I should have been looking. I didn't realize I was next. I think I have. Let's see. What is that? Oh yeah, you got to touch them too. Do you spare the dying?
Yeah. I just have to take some damage.
That was the only reason I wanted to play this out, is to just make sure somebody's taking the noble sacrifice.
I got healing word.
I don't know if I'm in character allowed to say hold the action, and so I can pass them to you first. But I don't know how I would say that in character. So
Hold your action.
Yeah, you could say, yeah. Wait, I'll go get him. Right?
Sure.
I will bring him to you.
All right,
Yeah, but then we got to get across.
that is true.
We probably want to
I
get
think
across.
we all got to
anyway.
get across. So
Do we all need to get across?
It
No.
looks like it looks like a dead end room. Do we really need to get across?
I'll go across.
Listen, my Telovere pokes his head around. I have a shadow over there. Don't try it. If there's anything of use, it'll just toss it over.
So we'll ask Montgomery. Montgomery, any action for you?
No, I'll go ahead and wait to see what happens. But we'll get the shadow to bring Fortune's body back.
It
Wait.
can't survive more than one trip across.
All
Well,
right.
how's
I
it
have
going to get stuff back to us then?
Did you not just hear me say it's going to toss it to us? Are you just not listening to me? Is that
No.
how this is going?
So as
Yeah.
that
Calm
argument's
down,
happening,
CS, calm down.
Loktar.
You are focused on the wrong Fortune. Allow me to fetch the cat. Grab him there. Can I reach him? Because I got a 15-foot reach on my. Oh, that's only 10.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
that's true.
But
Wow.
I try to scoop him up and bring him for healing.
Okay, so you've got
place him right
friendlies. You got friendlies standing there and there. So Las-Dal and Montgomery are in the spaces you're trying to occupy, unless you're stepping into the
Las-Dal is
spikes.
above him.
Oh,
I
that's
was
right.
picturing
Las-Dal's
kinda
up. Sorry, Las-Dal's on top.
Las-Dal's
hovering
up.
over them.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Like,
verticality.
they probably
Damn
don't
you,
want to look
Pythagoras. So Las-Dal's now like pressed to the Las-Dal's like pressed to the ceiling to avoid the ears of Loktar that are just like
you
crushed.
each feel something warm and fuzzy on your head.
So
As he passes Fortune over here.
I will ask.
Right here.
I will ask an important question. Are
Uh-oh.
you sure you wish to move him?
Oh,
Oh, like lifting him up first and then.
Are you sure
No,
you wish to
I-
move him?
Not anymore. Now that you asked that question. I was picturing lifting him up.
You
like
can
that
lift
would
him
be
up
good.
and just exit wounds
Oh,
cause
he would
problems
hurt.
too.
Ah,
I just
yeah.
checking. Do you wish to
Right.
lift him?
Yeah, he was
Um,
harpooned, remember?
Yep.
Oh, what if I instead hoist? Did you ready the spell, Montgomery, or no?
So Montgomery has a spell readied, which is I'm going to cast Spare
What
the
if I
Dying
hoist
when
him
Fortune comes
over?
within reach. Say it again.
But then that's not going to get him.
Hover
I was
Montgomery
thinking I would
over him.
hoist him over Fortune.
That'd be good.
I'm willing to
Yeah.
allow this. So basically, what this is this is a grapple, and then you're basically going to try and like stretch out and keep your arm steady with the full weight of Montgomery, who is wearing, I think, splint or maybe half plate,
Yeah,
like
yeah, splint mail.
split mail at range. This will take a this would take a strength check. Montgomery, if you're willing to allow this, I'll let him pick you up and try it. I will say strength check. Your DC is going to be a 15. If he fails, he's going to drop you short. You're not going to be able to reach Fortune.
Athletics?
Strength athletics. Yeah, strength athletics.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for
all right.
it.
All right. Advantage from rage. Yeah.
Advantage
still
from
big.
rage is fine. You haven't missed a turn yet. Yep.
Yeah.
23 is fine. Montgomery gets hoisted up, reached over, lowered down just enough. You can see Loktar bracing on one side. Montgomery goes ahead and reaches out, casts Spare the Dying. Spare the Dying stabilizes Fortune. So Fortune is no longer bleeding, but still like impaled, in a bunch of spikes there. So not currently at threat of dying, just unconscious. Loktar
Does he
then
live?
returns
All right.
Montgomery.
Yeah, he lives for now. We got to figure out how to break that harpoon off.
Well,
So we
Are
can
we?
get him out of
Hold
there.
on, real
Can
quick.
I
Are we
say
still in turn order? Sorry,
We can drop out of turn order
Oh,
at this point. Go ahead.
Oh, because I was kind of waiting to go on what I was going to do.
Sure.
To
So
help out in
you
this
can go ahead and take your
situation.
action.
So as he's hoisting Montgomery over, I'm going to cruise up, dash. As I'm dashing across, I'm playing on my instrument. I'm going to do Healing Word to Fortune at 4th level. So that's 44 plus 5.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that one up. So I think what the party hears is like a little skittering across the roof, music coming down from above, and Fortune's wounds just sort of mend.
So 16 points of healing to Fortune.
16. Okay.
Sounds good.
I just did the 44. I couldn't do the plus 5 in that.
Fortune wakes up. God.
So as I do that, I cruise across, and I did dash. So I'm standing over here now, still invisible though.
Sure.
Loktar, back up. Loktar, back up. Back
Las-Dal,
up.
as you look down from above, you can see that the sarcophagi, which was slightly open, her body is sort of splayed across it, but where she had been reaching down to stroke, a shimmering purple surface, very reminiscent of the portal in which you were passed through. So it looks like she had just been sitting there, just rubbing the portal, but unable to go through it. Behind the sarcophagi, from your vantage above, you can see there's a lever.
Oh, I use my action to dash. I use my bonus action to heal. Would that be too much if I was to pull a lever?
You have a free action that can pull levers.
Okay, I will. Sorry about this, Fortune. And as I pull the lever,
All the spikes get longer.
All the spikes drop down. Fortune, you lose a little more blood, but no additional damage as they withdraw from you. The floor is now passable.
Alrighty, boys.
We are
We got
out
a
of turn
portal.
order.
before anyone else can do anything,
Mm-hmm.
Telovere pops his head around and says, "Free fortune for me." And the shadow is going to chop the arm off that's currently harpooned into Fortune, basically right at the shoulder.
Okay.
So he obviously, I'm not going to try and pull it out of him, but at least so that's cut
Yep.
off and a little bit more freeing.
I've got this. And I will use one of my psychic daggers to teleport out of the grapple with it, just leaving
more
the
than 10
arm
feet away from me.
helplessly on the ground. Yep.
Why did you do that to begin with?
I was unconscious.
I was
You all have been around me long enough. You should know that I can do
Yeah.
this.
I pretty much come into back to apparition after that. The time frame of
sure.
Duren, it would seem your intuition was correct. We do all need to cross.
yeah, there's a portal image right here.
And you
Yeah, where does it go to?
slide it to the side.
Let's find out.
She was this. I think she was touching, but I kind of want to look inside the coffin to see if there's anything else in there.
Sure. You
Get a
slide.
little more of a look.
Good.
I would like to loot the body of Kavetta. 'Cause I'm a greedy little loot goblin.
Sure. She is dressed in ancient and moldering finery. So she was once wearing silks and brocade and such things, but it's all turned to rot and mold at this point. It would take a true master to recover anything of value from this attire at this point. All
Okay.
rings, etc., seem to have been removed, and perhaps are something that you've already acquired. Nothing
Never
else
know.
of note within the coffin or on Kavetta herself.
Before we go any further, does someone want to go get our lovely guest that we had brought with us down in here?
Yeah, if we're leaving or if this does anything, we want to bring him with us.
I think it'd be rather unfortunate if we left him here.
Eldon's currently having tea with Numi, just chatting away about things, and time to go.
Yes, come on. Come along.
And he teleports through the wall because the DM drops him in the wrong place.
You could
He's
do that
actually
the
a
whole time?
Legendary action.
Fortune wants to recall essentially how trustworthy secrets wise is Eldon.
How
I think it
trustworthy secrets-wise is Eldon? Eldon is a follower of the god of written knowledge and sharing. So telling him a secret is maybe not the best way to keep a secret, if that's what you're asking.
It's more so Fortune is debating whether or not to show him the snow globe of Neverwinter, or if it's just going to cause trouble for everyone.
Ooh, give me an insight check. I did mention something in the past about that.
And I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can't say anything.
And you recall it almost perfectly. Eldon had said it is such a shame, and he's been petitioning Neverwinter, and he's been trying to go about it, but he's been following the correct and legal paths for it. He could have at any point drawn up a map. Anybody could. But even though he knows, he's been saying, can't do it.
Okay. I remembered the part of him wanting to petition for it, but I didn't remember the part of him going legally about it. So I think Fortune will keep that from him. Fortune will keep it as a secret.
Ooh.
Do we want to tell Numi that her job's done?
It's not done yet because they're still technically on contract.
Yep. But we should say bye at the very least. Patching up all
Let her
the...
come check out the room she never got to see. She can clean it now.
As long as there is stone left to polish, I think she will remain.
And Yumi kind of comes and says hello to you from the doorway. She says, oh, I'm not supposed to go in there, and so I won't go in there. And while I appreciate you giving me more work to do, I'm going to stick to what I was paid to do.
Fair enough.
We'll
Slave
hide it in
drivers.
case guests come by. You don't have to explain anything. And I'll just like put the body in a corner far out of the way. Well, let's raise the spikes before we go, so it looks like this is how she died, and then we can just go in the portal.
Just Fortune. I did kind of decapitate her and cut off her arm. I don't think anyone would buy the spikes
Very
idea.
unfortunate accident.
Hard to sell accident.
Yes.
It's a
Anyway,
matter of who you're selling it to, and then Fortune just tries to put a foot into the portal and see what happens.
Sure.
That's kind of his exit line. It's hard to prove any accident. Whoop.
So Fortune puts one foot in the grave, and then the rest of him follows quite quickly. As he's basically shoomped in. Fortune's gone.
Well, shit. Now we gotta go.
Yeah.
Now, there is a psychic link up between certain
It
people.
goes a mile, which I assume does not work for planar travel.
Nope, does not last that far. So
Little
I should
more than a
check which one it
mile.
was.
Plus, I want to enjoy the mystery of what's just happened to me.
Yep, there's a little.
I full on get ready to just dive into the portal.
Sure. You dive
Expect to
right
see
into the
him
portal.
crash instead of.
could he just? Oh dear.
I give him points for grace there, and I'll
Okay,
do a.
well-
I'll follow with a somersault in.
Okay. Somersault in happens. Anybody else entering?
I'm gonna look at the other two who are still here and go. Is this like natural selection at work, or is it just me?
Well, it definitely looks like a portal. I've been through a portal before, even
who
before
hasn't?
us got here. But this is, I'm concerned where it's going to take us.
Eldon.
I guess we don't have much choice. Our buddies now are on the other side,
Yeah,
waiting for us.
I mean, there's only a few worse places than.
Oh yeah, that's right. Here, Eldon, you hop in next.
Oh, yes. I mean, the odds of this leading to, I don't know, the deepest part of the hells or pandemonium, quite rare.
That's
and
great.
he sort of goes back.
Just get in.
Oh.
All right.
Trust fall.
Who's
I'm
left?
sending my skeleton through first.
Bloop, bloop, bloop,
Yes.
bloop, bloop.
All
I
right.
will be the
Well,
last to remain in case anything goes awry.
look,
But you're coming, right? You're going to follow us?
At this point, it seems likely.
Hey, Loktar, look, there's some gold in there. Would you grab that for me?
I have plenty, thank you.
Well, look, it's got a bugbear on it.
I can give you a boost if you
Oh,
require.
bollocks. And
I'll
I'm just gonna gingerly dip a foot in.
As you gingerly dip a foot, you get closer and closer. The moment you hit that little plane of swirling energy, the rest of you just follows.
Ah,
Yep, I'll go next.
All right, Montgomery goes
I'll
next.
just step in.
I think that leaves Duren. No, wait.
No, Loktar.
Just that's
God
right.
damn it.
Duren dove. So just Loktar.
All right, now he's gonna take that long arm and
Yep.
kind of snuggle it into his little fat dick and go.
All right. So you try and put
it might make a cool
you try to
something
take
later,
the
you know?
take the arm with you. Loktar,
Yeah.
you jump and you just stand on the portal.
Oh.
You just like look down. You're like maybe bounce up and down a few times.
You chuck it. And
The
try to
moment
try
you
again.
let go, you sink right in.
All right.
You might recall that Dolendars may not portal.
All right.
So zoom. Now, on the other side of the plane, in order, each of you appear in a small grave. Fortune, you just kind of stumble out. Duren comes diving out. Las-Dal somersaults out. Our good friend Eldon sort of falls backwards through it. Montgomery, I think, stepped in with a fairly reasonable set, as did Telovere. And then Loktar just kind of whoop, straight through. A squadron of skeletons piles in as well, and possibly a shadow spawn if it lasts that long. You all find yourself in what appears to be a fairly nondescript grave, taking a quick look around. Oh, thankfully, that's a real night sky. You can see some stars and such things. The moons are up, and you've got no red glow of dawn over there. You are back in Neverwinter. The
Oh, praises.
Fresh night
the
air.
tomb behind you. The name on it is illegible due to age, but a carved phrase is on the bottom. Home again to rest forever.
I'm gonna write this down, keep track of where it is for future possible use.
Was this portal one way? So like we don't see couldn't go back through this portal.
An excellent question. Could I have an Arcana check from you, please?
Oh,
That's
Lordy.
actually something I was going to try to figure out.
Okay, could I have an Arcana check from both of you, please?
I got the friggin' -1.
Duren just
Maybe.
turns around and he's like, could there be something going on? And then Las-Dal, maybe the follow-up?
There we go.
So, it'll take some doing, but you can reopen this crevice of dusk. It will take a bit of a ritual, a bit of arcane power, and some doing, but it can be reopened. It's not quite one way, but it does take a bit of a push to get it to open back up again. With that, welcome home, adventurers. I get to tell you that at the next time you get the opportunity to long rest, you will get to add a level and the appropriate things from there. So congratulations on your level up. But there's some other things you might want to do right away first. Is there
We're
anything
missing
that you want to
someone.
do? Go ahead.
We've only found 3 of the 4. We still have someone we have to go back and get.
We have
Did
to.
we?
We told one to stay in the beginning of the
One left.
tomb, so we got one sitting
I
waiting
thought we
for
had
us.
all 4.
No,
No, we only ran into 3 before we got sucked into the Shadowfell. Everblight.
So, do we need to go back down in there then?
Lordy.
we have
And a better question
unfinished
is
business.
how long have we been away?
You've been away at least 10 to 12 hours. If
Oh,
time
that's it?
moved
No,
the
no,
same,
yeah, but if that in our
if
point of
time
view,
moved
but
the same,
right, exactly.
And there's no way to tell what
Not
day
yet.
or what year it is right now.
Well, I don't know. Do any of you have anything that would help with stargazing and time telling? There are some skills and feats that do such things. Does anybody have any of those?
No.
I mean,
I didn't take it.
All
would
right.
survival help for that?
You could try survival, but it'd need to be a very good survival.
I've got expertise
Well,
in it,
You
so
could certainly give it a shot.
We'll take a little.
Oh, I don't know what this roll was.
No idea.
Sorry, my cat just clicked.
Well, that's a
Wow.
not a nat
Wow.
20.
A
plus
nat
9.
20. You look up, you're like, it is the current year. You check the moon. The moon hasn't changed much. You look around. Yeah, a day. A day has passed.
It has been a day since we were out here, judging by the stars. Hopefully, we did interrupt the ritual, so I don't know how many times a day they do rituals like that, but hopefully the other person there is still alive.
Oh.
I can't remember who's still left back there, though.
Technically, too, our friend, he was waiting for us at the front of the tomb. We still have to find one.
If I can just say, if the one we left at the front of the tomb hasn't gone home by now, he has all the survival instincts of a well-bred duck.
He's a learned man. He's a book man. He's not
He
exactly.
might be hanging out in the catacombs. Everyone else in there is gone. Well, there were some few we left behind, but
He's not.
I would like.
He's not a
if he-
fighting type of person.
You don't have to be a fighting type of person to be able to run really quickly.
Well, it is surrounded
What-
by undead.
I have a
him.
question. Was the job from Neverember to rescue those people, or was it to figure out why there were kidnappings?
It was
Both.
to rescue the.
Both.
It was to rescue the people or
Oh.
bring back their bodies and figure out why the kidnappings were
They
happening.
were about 75% there.
Yeah, I would say
We still got
you're
a
a
little work to
solid
do.
B plus. Kind of currently.
B plus.
You are
I
in the
know
You're in the
Sorry.
pauper's graveyard, so you're not too far from where the entrance would be. Maybe a quick 5-minute jog in that direction.
Since I knew him well enough, would I have known if he would have said, "Fuck this, I'm out"? After a short amount of time, would he have been scared enough to run?
You know, that's an excellent question, which I'm going to need a a die roll to do.
Yep.
Basically, this is the does the NPC survive die roll. So,
Yay!
if one of you would like to volunteer to find out if the NPC survives, I think you did a pretty good job of getting out of them there healthy. You guys did a good job of clearing out zombies as you came in, because when I asked how you strolled through the thing, it was guns blazing. So he should have a reasonable path to escape. I'm thinking the odds are somewhere in the rounds of 75% in his favor. So if someone could roll me a D100 and get your choice, either 26 or higher or 75 or lower, who would like to make the roll and tell me whether you're rolling for high or low?
Right. Las-Dal, right? Because they're both fake kinsmen or whatever.
Yeah, I think Las-Dal knew him real well.
Yeah. They have conversated many times before, so yeah.
Are you rolling high or are you rolling low?
Hi.
High, okay. 46 counts on the high side. He has made it out. You won't know that yet, but once you get back to the proper part of town, you would see your gnomish friend is there awaiting you. You've got your cleric friend as well, and your escort succeeded with the other whom you recovered, the sorceress who's a little bit out of it because she was very far out there not long ago. What remains is the noblewoman, notable actress, who is not yet recovered. However, when you make your way to the Water Clock Guild's grave and start to investigate, you can see the place has been emptied out. All the cultists have fled. They've taken anything they could with them. It looks like they carted away most of that library, and there is no sign of the actress.
Oh no!
We
Anyway.
did not save Andrina. I mean, maybe she's still alive, but I have no clue where we'd even look for her.
What a
Hey,
terrible
you gotta feel bad, right?
what a terrible loss for the arts. Anyway, never
Do
much
not like
liked
the
her.
art Telovere.
I don't like acting. I find it to be gauche. Give me a nice book.
I thought
I
you were
think I
acting
should
very
be-
well earlier.
Yeah, you love
You had
acting.
them
What are you
going.
talking
I was gonna say your acting skills do not mirror the words coming out of your mouth right now.
Well, I can be good at acting and despise it with all my heart.
Wait, you got a heart?
I did before Broomhilda ruined it.
Wait, you have not told us
Wait,
about Brunhilde.
Broomhilda?
It's a long
Uh-oh,
story.
secret!
Oh, no secret. It's just a long story. I'll tell you later.
And as that
I'll have a beer for you for that.
as that juicy tidbit drops and the party makes their way to the more elevated areas of town, you will get notice that Lord Neverember eagerly awaits your feedback, that he's heard several of the rescues were successful, 2 notables have been returned, and Eldon will certainly chime up for the third. Eldon will speak on your behalf. There was nothing that could have been done. You were pulled through and had quite the adventure. He will share the general gist of what happens, but leave out the details, allowing you to explain. Lord Neverember himself is fairly gracious, while he takes credit for all the things that you've done. But sitting behind him is a stack of coins that is roughly 4 times the size of the stack of coins that Loktar had pocketed. Some 9,000 gold coins sit upon the table behind him. As Lord Neverember says, welcome heroes, I am so glad to have had you back. Now, before he gets really off and rolling, would anyone like to explain what the story is that Lord Neverember is working off of? What have you shared of your adventures to date to him?
Could we have discussed this a little bit on the way back
Absolutely.
there? Okay.
Okay, we do not tell him that we sold a person.
No, under no circumstances does he need to know that.
We didn't sell them. It was a trade.
It was,
That's true. We traded a person. Bartering.
Technically,
and they were pretty clean slate.
The argument could be made they were less person than golem at that point. They were just
Yeah,
a very
that's true.
self-sufficient
That's true.
golem. Like, I fail to see the difference. And
That's
also,
true.
it was a Vecna cultist. Are they really a person?
I say just reward right there.
Exactly. It is whether or not she's being mercilessly devoured for blood in the mirror dimension of this realm is besides the point.
Oh, surely a cultist would have been killed here too after they got whatever
Exactly.
information.
She would have been
they-
tried and murdered, and nothing good would have come of it. We got a nice rest. I got to lay down on an actual bed. I think it was a worthy trade for this woman's life.
We have a friend in the shadow. Well, you have a
You
friend
learned
in the
where the
Shadowfell
bone
now?
zone was, so you can find some good bones later on.
You are
We should go get
100%
that
correct. Oh, did
Minotaur.
you happen to take a record of where we came out, by the way? I didn't think to do that
I,
earlier.
I took care of that.
Perfect. I'm going to go back there if anyone would like to join me.
Absolutely.
gonna-
Not right
yeah,
now, but
I do want to. That could be interesting getting information back and forth.
Oh, yes,
from
absolutely.
anyone
Anyway,
like that.
I don't think Neverember will care all that much since the cultist was not all there in the politest sense of the word.
We slaughtered countless cultists.
Indeed.
We did not
let's-
offer them an option to sweep the floor, rather than have their skulls caved in.
We swept the floor with them.
Yes.
Let us just decide not to mention it unless it's brought up. I'd
agreed.
rather not get accused of slavery.
As soon as we go up to Neverember, we do not. We may or may not have sold a person.
We
I'm gonna give
No,
Duren a
I
look.
brought it up.
we executed Eye of Vecna cultists as I pull out the. I at least kept one
Mhm.
emblem as proof. We took care of cultists. We were teleported to a different realm. We survived through the realm via
Our quick
Discord with some of the people there. We found our way back via getting information through the said Discord and finished off as much as we could of our original task.
and
We don't
met
need to
the
tell
Duren.
him who we met, where we met them, or any procurements we made during that time. We just
You don't want to tell him about the bone zone?
I don't think Lord
I don't
Neverember
think
will
he's going to care about the
care.
bone zone.
Oh, on
We
that
should
note,
mention the Dolendars, though. He may be interested, or maybe even have information about.
I
them.
don't know
That's
if we
what
want to let them know about a way to teleport in and out of the
could we consider
Shadowfell.
it a
because-
personal favor to me to not tell Lord Neverember about that? I'd actually
Actually-
like to use that a little bit.
I would
portal
like the
out.
favor for me. I think the favor could carry over for me more than you.
Fair enough, whatever works. I just don't want to lose an easy, accessible way to get into
We could
Evernight.
gather more information, and I could find stuff for the Candlekeep library, possibly having access to different realms.
I just want to sell them corpses. It's fine.
So I think I've got
What?
the major gist so far. The thing that I'm not sure that I've picked up on. You mentioned that it is Vecna. I'm not sure I heard any description of the ritual or what Vecna's up to. Is that being shared?
Yeah, I'll share what I saw when I went in the room as for the guy who's in the cage could easily say what was going on in there.
Absolutely. Okay.
I'm going to ask one thing in character to the group. Besides the ritual, do we want to tell Lord Neverember what we saw during our little transitory time to Evernight? I think it's a little clear that we're a touch more connected to events than we were previously led to believe. And the fact of the matter is we saw all of the nudes, for lack of a better term.
Let's leave that out of. Yeah, let's not.
I'm inclined to agree, but also if Lord Neverember has any sort of magical truth-telling, or even a form of scrying, or generally just a somewhat accomplished wizard on his side, he will find out.
We could tell him that they found one of the few connections between here and the Shadowfell. We don't know how many there are, technically. So we wouldn't be lying if we said there are few. Because truly, how many are there in all of Magic Scale? So I'd say we have a low number.
Fair enough. Father, I don't know. Perhaps I'm just a little worried that withholding this information could come back around and
Well, we could
give
say
us
that they
proverbial
found
kick in the ass.
they found this here. There may be others,
Well,
but we
there are
don't.
assuredly others.
Well, can
But
I
we
ask
don't
you
know
a question?
how to access them. They were using this ritual to access it, right?
No, what we did, I think we slipped between the cracks of the facade for a time. We saw the secret behind the secrets. I don't think not even the madmen of Vecna saw that much.
No, they're
Or if they
seeming pretty in the dark about some of the. They don't even know about like releasing a secret. They only know about sending secrets
To
you know,
Vecna.
deep inside and sending it to Vecna. They don't know that you can also free a secret. Now that we all know that Duren dances at night.
that
Everyone
brings up
knows that.
Now that we're out of harm's way, it does hurt my feelings that you didn't dance to my music. I'm just going to say that.
I am so sorry.
I will play
It
regardless.
was a secret.
I will play a special song just for you to dance to later.
Regardless, I believe that the point still stands. We've seen things we're not supposed to see.
That's
And
true.
it's the sort of thing that if it ever came out that we had hidden it from Lord Neverember, it could spell very dire consequences for us.
Let me ask this of everyone here. What do you all want to do about it? We've seen things that we know that not even the people on the opposing side know. We know secrets that many do not know. We have a special point of view, essentially, and perhaps, if more charitable groups might say, a duty to deal
To-
with this.
but-
If we're going to involve ourselves more, then we probably want to inform Lord Neverember. Because I don't know about you, but I don't really know what our next steps would even be to combat this apparent threat that we have some kind of connection to.
My concern with Lord Neverember is he doesn't even want a map of Neverwinter drawn. He wants to keep a lot of things compartmentalized. He's keeping secrets from all those that he can and letting few in on anything that would be detrimental.
But he is the Lord, right? And that is his prerogative. I mean, that is the law.
That's true. But
Right.
who makes the law? The man
Well,
in
he
charge.
does. He's the Lord, right?
But we don't think he
Yeah.
serves Vecna. We don't think.
No, I don't think he serves Vecna, but
profit
he
off of
serves his own. He
For
serves
sure.
his own
Well-
I have
power.
read no law of this city that requires we divulge our secrets to this Neverember. He
No.
merely pays us to retrieve these posh.
And I don't disagree with our hobgoblin friend here. I'm simply stating if we are committing to keep this secret, then we must be committed.
I have a quick out of character question for you, DM. When the knowledge of Duren's dancing was kind of given to everyone,
Mhm.
did we know it came from him?
It's more that you all realized it at around the same time. It all just started to click in. It wasn't so much that he just shouted out the secret as he, maybe he just did a little shuffle step while he was readjusting for his swing or his check that he needed, that you're like, wait a second, this dude's got
Oh
some
my god.
moves.
I
He's got
remember what the
moves.
tapping at above my bedroom was. It was him dancing all night.
You got it. Now
I'll
the rest.
tell you what.
Go ahead.
I would say what my thought was possibly releasing the secret of essentially what the snow globe looks like. Releasing the idea of what Neverwinter looks like to everyone at one time. So even though there's laws against making a map, if there was an anonymously, everyone suddenly kind of had a map in their head of
Wow.
Neverwinter. Would that immediately point back to Fortune, or would it be something possibly more vague knowledge to everyone?
No, that would be kind of just a vague knowledge, but to be fair, the layout of Neverwinter is not really a secret. Anyone on a high tower can look down and see what it is. It's more the documentation of each street, each alley, each gate, where the tunnels go, that would be the concern. So basically, the stuff that Fortune you've picked up as an urchin so that you can get from point A to point B fast, he wants to make sure that an army can't get from point A to point B fast, knowing the sewers, knowing that sort of stuff. So the overland isn't really so much the concern as it is all the little cut throughs, and your Neverwinter globe certainly shows some of those cut throughs. It's amazingly detailed. But now that you're out here and you're looking at it carefully and you're thinking about this, there's no rift on this map. This was pre-volcano, so it's a little out of date. Still very cool, and maybe even more valuable because of it, but kind of useless to an invading army. Okay. But I think we've kind of resolved down to where I would want to get to. So you've shared the information with Neverember. He's kind of coming back to you, and we'll give you guys some opportunity to talk a little bit more. And what he said is, I want to absolutely thank you. I'm devastated that we're not going to hear Indriana's singing or acting anymore, and having made every effort for her rescue, despite what she may have said about me in the past. I do want to make sure that you receive your reward. I have here some coins to reward you. I trust you to split this amongst yourself, and I do want to make sure that I encourage you with every effort to stay and help us improve our great city. Now, as Lord Protector, I am sorry. I cannot ennoble a person, though I will certainly speak for you and on your behalf when such time as a king returns to our great city. I understand that the spirit is still there, and there's still a chance that we might find one of the royal line alive and well, ever that quest shall continue. But in the meantime, Montgomery, Duren, with your noble natures, I do hope you will stay and help to found. Now, I understand that you have an inclination, Montgomery, to serve a different lord, but if we could entice you to stay, I do have an estate that I've considered for you. Las-Dal, Fortune, even Loktar, estates for each of you, a grand manor, or perhaps a place of business, if you so choose. Telovere, I know you've scoped out some. Your inquiries into the deeds has not gone unnoticed, and I would like to grant you your choice of any unclaimed land. And he's really, here are some plots, and he rolls out what's not a map. It's a list of deeds. The list of deeds is not laid out in place order, but it's kind of a numeric order, and based on the numbers, you can kind of say, hey, this is probably in this area. Now, I don't wish to pressure you, but I would ask for a decision. Would you be willing to stay, settle here in our glorious Neverwinter, help us to improve the city? And should the opportunity present itself, Duren, Montgomery, I would love to have noble houses with you at the head when such abilities become either my prerogative or upon the return of the royal family.
Okay.
I'd be interested in seeing this place.
My gods require a temple.
A temple!
Oh, I can help you with that, Loktar. Don't worry.
A temple can certainly be set up. Now, your god's a bit, bloodthirsty, perhaps. Maybe we could, do an all faiths temple in which you offer services?
I do not wish to make a temple for all faiths. I wish to make a temple for my faith.
Lord Neverember,
Yes.
may I make a suggestion?
Hmm.
And with my good friends here, with his allowance, perhaps a sort of quieter acceptance of the faith in the form of maybe a place of sport for blood sports would be more appropriate.
Mm.
Something to draw in the lower classes, to give glory to the great Kragek, or what the pronunciation
Yes.
escapes me. A sort of gathering for the lower classes, and the quiet understanding that it is a holy place for my good bugbear friend here, but one that would perhaps allow you the political acumen and flexibility to avoid having the appearance of a proper temple.
Ooh, give me a quick persuasion check on that one, if you don't mind, Telovere. That sounded like a real good
Not at all.
pitch.
Vince Loktar.
That is a 23.
That's plenty.
See, I know it.
Yes. Oh, that is an excellent way to frame that up. I wish I had such advisors on my set. And he sort of looks over at his advisors. His advisors like, what? You just letting a bugbear in? Okay, fine, whatever. But the deeds are offered up, 9,000 coin and a small army to assist you in the repairs of your household and establishment thereof. So we're going to do a little fast forwarding in time. About a year will go by before the next game event. During that year, collectively, you have 9,000 gold to spend, which I think works out to be roughly 1,500 each. There's 2,200 in gold in Loktar's pouch, and some items scattered about. Each of you has a small business, manor house, or otherwise, that you'd be able to do. Putting you a little bit on the spot, what would be the thing that you're doing during that year, your overall goal, aside from fixing up the place that you've picked out? Anyone want to volunteer?
Yeah, I can go.
You got it.
So I think, I stay here for a little bit. I did my exploring for a long time. I think I'm going to use my. I don't really need an army, but I want people to help research maybe the Fae and the history of the Fae to help determine some of the events that I can't remember.
Okay. Now you led into that with a weird statement. I don't need an army.
I mean, like, I don't need like a force. I need people, but
Okay.
I don't need like a military force.
Okay. So what I think I'm hearing is in your manor house or in your domicile, you are encouraging scholars to gather and do research on the Fae.
Very academically focused more than military focused.
Okay, absolutely. So you're gathering folks to you, starting a little bit of Feywild research. We can get you some information on that. Who else is doing a thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna set up a little music setup
Mhm.
like home. Have my own little club set up.
The
But
studio.
also, also while doing that, I want to go back to where we teleported
Sure.
to, and probably working with Telovere.
Okay. So
Reset it up.
a quick thing I'll need to throw there. You will need to have some form of gate opening, which could be a circle of teleportation spell or other portal opening to basically make the rift open enough to pass through. Telovere, I think you are of the level that you should have those things at level 11, or are we a little bit shy on circle of teleportation?
I don't know. Let me level up real fast and I'll tell you.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. It's going to be
Unfortunately, I don't get that. And
Let's
Bard.
see. Circle. I do.
fifth level
I do, in fact.
conjuration if someone would like to take it.
I do in fact get teleportation circle. Yes.
Okay. So if you do want to open that, you will need teleportation circle on your spell list or something similar that opens gates. I think that is the lowest level of the gate opening spells.
Believe you are correct,
Yeah, it
unless you
is.
have an item for it. And yeah, I'll take circle of teleportation. It doesn't hurt, especially if we are going to be doing planes hopping. During the year, I do have one question. Sorry,
Sure.
just to real quick interrupt while I'm doing this. Can I learn circle of death in addition to the standard
Absolutely.
spells I'm taking?
You've got
Cool.
you've got the scroll to transcribe and plenty of gold to pay for your inks.
Cool. Thank you very much. Just want to make sure.
You got it. So Las-Dal, you can go ahead and open that one back up. Once you have access to that, you will have to basically navigate through the graveyard on occasion. You will have to lean on Telovere to help you open that up. You then have access to that area. The two of you have proven yourself to be reasonably powerful, but this is a place run by a cadre of undead ghouls, nobles, as well as vampires and other such things. So being reasonably powerful is still somewhat dangerous. We'll maybe talk about what you've been up to in your off-screen time there a little bit. But okay, definitely can do that. Anything in particular? I think you'd mentioned looking for rare books that maybe are only available in the Shadowfell. Was that the
and also kind of like networking with Sanguine.
Sangora?
And we're Sangora.
Sangora of Sangora's Sanguinary. Yep.
Yeah. Work with her and see if I can kind of get an information network going.
Sounds good. All right, so you're working on that one. I think Televere's might be linked, so I'll bump down there before we jump somewhere else. Televere, what might you be doing with your year?
As odd as it seems,
Hmm?
Telovere is going to spend a lot of time actually trying to ferret out Vecna cultists,
Okay.
specifically in the graveyard areas.
So I'll give you the heads up there. Vecna cultists are basically abandoning Waterdeep at this point. The jig is up here. So you will have great luck over that first week or two, and then they will get sparser and sparser and sparser. But you know from that image, they were all over the place. But
I would definitely be helping Telovere with that as well.
you got it. So the last couple of dregs you're able to mop up in there. You're able to catch a couple of low-ranking cultists, kind of the same thing you were encountering before this situation. But it seems like Waterdeep is hostile to the Vecna cultists, and they're trying to play it on the down low.
Cool.
Montgomery Fortune, with your year, what are you up to?
So I'm going to take one of the manor houses.
Mm-hmm.
And you said they have to be reclaimed or something, or refurbished?
So they were badly damaged during the eruption, but there is a absolute squad of builders dedicated to enticing you to stay. So it is being rebuilt on their dime. So you can have it rebuilt to whatever specification you'd like.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, with that said, yeah, definitely he'll redo the house, and he'll invite everybody to his wedding that he's going to have.
Oh. Returning to the area with many a rumor chasing them of their what's the word I want? Not torrid. Torrid's the wrong one. That's got a kind of negative connotation. What's the big romantic epic romance that took place while Montgomery was coming up through the ranks there. She joins and is happy to have the household to assist with and to settle into a new town where she definitely wants to be known as the soon to be ennobled young lady. Montgomery, anything else other than the household structure?
I'm going to start some research, more Arcana research, working on spells, and I also want to research that Helm of Brilliance to see if there's a way I can, empower any gems to put gems back into it.
Gotcha. Give me a quick Arcana check on there. Generally, no, but you could start breaking down a formula to reforge one effectively. So just give me a quick Arcana check as a how quickly do you turn around that information? And then Fortune, what are you up to?
That is a very good question. So with the manners and everything offered,
Mhm.
I think he's going to essentially skip town for a bit here and instead try to offer a place for just kind of take some of the more shoddy areas where orphanages and things like that and kind of try to offer up a nicer place for people before he takes off for a while. Occasionally traveling with Telovere and Las-Dal to Everblight. Usually just to have some tea with you, me, and kind of just stick around with him, make sure, see what he can pick up there. But for the most part, he's going to leave town and do a little bit of traveling on his own. I just haven't figured out where yet.
Okay. Now, knowing a little bit about your backstory, I will kind of ask, are you actually establishing an orphanage?
I think he was going for unknown benefactor, but yes. But
Okay.
essentially not in his name directly or anything like that.
No problem at all. So basically, you can take you say, oh, I'll take these several houses, and Neverember's like, yeah, of course, you can knock those down, put up something nice there, and then you would fix those up, and then have effectively an orphanage. Now, on the deeds would be whatever name you happen to choose, so they could be linked back to you. 1,500 gold would certainly set people up for quite some time with food and that sort of thing. So your choice as to whether to pull rent or that sort of stuff, but that gives me a good idea of what everybody's up to. Now, as I said, about a year is going to pass, and we'll fill in some more of that time. Based on what we heard, anybody else want to call out any other high importance details that they might want to speak to?
Yeah, I'd like to invest my 1,500 gold in crypto if possible.
Absolutely. Lord
So that after a year, I have a lot more.
Lord Neverember has every sort of scam available to you, so crypto is definitely on his list of things that he's willing to let you.
I'm really into the blockchain right now.
Absolutely.
Telovere comes to you one day and he's got a block of just like a bunch of blocks chained together. He's like, "Is this what you're looking for?"
Yes, perfect.
Oh, there you go.
That is exactly what he wanted. So, with those things accomplished under a belt, we'll get some additional details filled back in there. One day, about a year later, you're all going about your business, and then a moment later, you're not. Bum, bum, bum.
That's it.
Dun,
We're just not.
You're just not.
I was waiting for her to say thank you for playing GURPS. There we go.
And what you find yourself is from wherever you happen to have been on this particular day at this particular time. You are no longer there. Instead, you are in a room which has a fireplace behind it, lounge chairs around it, 3 figures standing, a little tired looking. One sits down in the chair, one sort of flops to the side, the other sort of leans against the fireplace. You look about yourselves, you can see Las-Dal, Duren, Loktar, Fortune, Montgomery, Telovere, sort of standing there. Having appeared out of nowhere, does anybody do anything immediately?
Las-Dal! Hey, it's good to see you again. Just ignoring the situation and saying hello, essentially.
I'm looking around to see what's going on. I'm taking in everything around me. Fortune? What?
Fortune, have you brought us here?
No, I don't think so, anyways.
So, and as you're sort of like making that exchange, a woman, blue robes, stately look, brows furrowed in confusion, sort of looks towards you all. You can't be the answer to our wish. Voice coming from behind her. Woman, black attire, pale face, dark hair. Weird little crow foot symbol under her eye. Behind them, lit by the candlelight, a fellow, big fancy mage robes, balding head, nice beard. Just sort of looks at you all. Why don't you all have a seat? And she sort of gestures to some couches and divans behind you.
You mentioned we're not what you wished for?
Oh,
I wish for an explanation.
As do I, says the woman in black as she sort of like flops herself upon a little reclining couch. Yes. We introductions. Let's start there. My name is Illustriel. Do you recognize the name?
Yeah, isn't this the lady with the deck of many things?
That is the lady who has the deck of many things, also known as the Silver Lady, ruler of several cities, daughter of Mistra. Quite an accomplished mage, and yep, that definitely looks like what you would have heard of in the stories.
oh
Yes.
no.
Montgomery has told us of you.
Yeah, I've heard plenty of stories.
Oh no.
Okay, so
Telovere, why do you
good.
look so
Telovere
distraught?
ain't happy.
You are at least from a plane that we recognize. That's a start there. This is Tasha, and that's Mordenkainen. Do you recognize those names?
Oh no.
I would say so.
Even
But you just mentioned a plane. What plane are we on now?
Funny story. Are you familiar with Sigil?
Oh
Would-
no.
It makes
Would
the
Las
answer
Dal
about
have heard of
planes a
Sigil?
bit tricky. We're sort of at the middle of all of them.
Common is not my first language, but I believe it is pronounced sigil.
Oh, yes, the emblem is a sigil, but the place that we are in is Sigil. Don't get it wrong. They do make terrible fun of those who do.
I believe we all did get the story of Vecna from one of the three. I think the gnomish fellow we had helped before. So Sigil and the Lady of Pain
Yep.
would ring a bell.
Yep.
Were you saying that out
Vecna
loud?
tried to take over it. Well, that was me thinking through it before he says out loud.
Okay.
Oh, the place Vecna tried to take over at one point, right?
Yes, well done. Do you know of Vecna?
Oh, baby, do they?
We've
That's a
been
loaded
dismantling his people as much as we can.
Ah, then perhaps you
Dissecting
are
may be a better word.
the answer
we
to our
want-
wish. How unusual.
Listen, Lokta, you told me you would never mention that time again, remember? We don't talk about the dissections.
We're level 11 now, right?
You are
Yes.
level 11 now.
That means our proficiency bonus goes up to +5?
No,
Not yet. Okay,
Nah,
never mind.
not yet.
I will say you probably shouldn't be in combat in this particular encounter. That might be a bit lethal.
I was more trying to figure out if I could psychic.
We're gonna
whispers to
kill
all of
three of the
them.
most powerful wizards that ever lived.
Oh, you mean the three most powerful lizard? Like
Yeah.
these
Well, where does Elminster rank with these?
below them.
Yeah. Not by much, but yeah.
So tempting fates, fortune will psychic whispers with everyone except Loktar. Sorry, Loktar. I don't think I've left you out yet. So, should we tell these people about the kind of nodes that we saw before?
The kind
I
of
mean,
what?
even I know these are all famous wizards.
I'm gonna look at Fortune and out loud go, Fortune, don't be rude.
I have no idea. Why would that be rude? We were brought somewhere without any of our prior notice. It makes sense to have a private conversation.
Have we
Fortune.
been kidnapped?
No, Loktar.
We were brought by a spell.
We've
Yes. Well done. We were seeking to cast a wish spell. Are you familiar? It allows magic to grant something extraordinary. We have become aware of the efforts of the Lich Vecna, the god, to undo reality. His last attempt at such a thing did involve Sigil and the Lady of Pain. This more recent endeavor, he has holed himself up somewhere beyond our detection, and we had hoped, the three of us combined, our magics would be enough to stop him. It seems that it was not. He was able to resist the power of our wish, but it seems to have been partially granted by summoning you. Now, you mentioned that you've been dismantling the cults of Vecna. That's a fine effort, but a bit far afield from going up against a god himself. Tasha from the side just this is absolute nonsense, Illustrial. We might as well just send them home.
a moment, please. I'm gonna look to the group. Forgive me for doing this, gentlemen. We may not have gone against a god. It is true. I wouldn't say, however, that we are not touched by Vecna.
Oh,
And I'm going to point to the eye and go, you may want to take a closer look.
and the gentleman, Mordenkainen, who's been kind of leaned up against the fireplace, moves himself forward. He seems to be kind of just a little bit off, his little stagger slump to his step as he gets close to you and looks into you. Oh, you are marked. Interesting. Illustrial, if you don't mind, and I'm sorry to have to bring this up, but while your plan for the wish was certainly our best effort, I was making some alternative plans. I worried that perhaps the wish wouldn't be powerful enough to stop someone like Vecna. So I have this contingency. You see, Vecna is too powerful to stop directly at this point. However, no power is absolute, and these signs may be a chink in his armor. I would suspect that he is vulnerable as he weaves his ritual, investing too much of his power. If we could weaken him, then, again, forgive me, and he withdraws a small bell. This is a chime of exile. He is a native to Oerth. If we could sound this, it would drive him out from his ritual place, forcing him back to Oerth, interrupting his ritual, and, for a time at least, confining his efforts to his home plane. It wouldn't solve the problem entirely, but it would give us some time to recover. I don't know about the two of you, but that casting has left me quite drained. And you can see Tasha and Illustrial are both wan and washed out looking. There's an artifact that I believe is the only way to weaken Vecna, so the chime can be used against him. It's called the Rod of Seven Parts. Unfortunately, its component pieces are scattered all across existence. While you were all researching the magic needed to cast the wish spell, I looked into finding the rod's pieces should we need them. The first piece is deep within a place on Faerun known as Underdark. It's hidden inside a safe house for the worshippers of the demon god Lolth. It's called Web's Edge. If we could send them to find that first piece of the rod, as a backup plan, should we not recover and be able to strike our wish again as we thought, or perhaps this is sign that this is the only way to do it. We could send them there. We have a portal that could put them in the right place. If they find that piece, the magic in the artifact, this rod of seven parts, will call to itself, guiding them from location to location, the second, the third, the fourth, and so on. And when fully assembled, if we have recovered our power, we can assist them. If we have not yet, I think there's no time to waste. They could take the rod, weaken Vecna, and send him back to Earth. There's little time to waste on this. Of course, enough to gather yourselves, to recover, to prepare. But otherwise, I don't know that we can really spare the time to wait for us to try again.
You would have us fetch this rod and ring this bell in the presence of the Lich.
Yes, confront him directly. I don't wish to toot my own horn, but I've become quite a hero for things that were a bit less important. The six of you could have your name writ large.
Weakening him and moving him back to his plane, is that going to stop him?
It will stop his current ritual and reduce his power so that he is less a god than he was today. And it is not a complete victory. If you see the opportunity to pursue him and do away with him, I would certainly encourage it. Nothing would please me more. But that's quite a bit to ask. Even the Lady of Pain was challenged just banishing him.
There's a sword said to have been used on him. The sword of Cass?
Oh, quite knowledgeable, are you? Yes, when he was... Oh, that was so long ago. I suppose he was still... I don't wish to say just a lich at that point, but I think that was when he was just a lich. Cass, his lieutenant, wielded it against him, dispatched him, and reduced him for some time. But he is resilient and found his way back to cause more trouble. From kind of
Does
over
this
on
Cass?
Go ahead.
Does this Cass still live? He sounds he would be a valuable ally.
I suppose he would be if he was amiable to such things. You may not have heard of his sobriquet, Cass the Bloody-Handed, Vampire Lord. Was an ally of Vecna for quite some time, and while they certainly have had their disagreements, I don't know that we could rely on him as an ally. Tasha sort of laughs over from the side. The enemy of our enemy is still probably an enemy of ours.
He bit the hand of his master, but he was strong enough to greatly wound his master. I'm not saying use the man, use the tool.
I do not
if
have
possible.
I do not have a lead on that sort of cast. If you do find any sort of lead upon it, that was not a weapon I thought to look for. And I do not know if I would recommend that any wield it.
Didn't Umberto's document say that the sword itself is what caused him to betray Vecna?
Yes, it's a sentient weapon that turns its holder.
An interesting
I said we
thought.
forget that.
Certainly an opportunity to pursue if you see the chance, but I think our best chance is the Rod of Seven Parts. That will certainly weaken him, at least according to my research. And Illustrial sort of says, Mordenkainen, that's quite a bit of research that you've done. I'm impressed with your thoroughness. By reputation, you tend to go off a little more half-cocked, but certainly a idea that we can pursue. Tasha just sort of throws in it can't be any worse.
How long have you known about this?
I say Illustrial is the one to answer. Rumors first reached me close to 3 years ago that the Vecnan cults were moving. We did some research, thinking that it was perhaps just his worshippers rising again. Within the last year, we discovered that he had this plan, and that it was beyond the scope of local action. I put out my call a few months back, seeking magic users, and Tasha and Mordenkainen were kind enough to respond, and then we began our own rituals and research.
3 years ago, and kind of shares a glance with everyone else. That's when we got these, and just shows the same mark that Telovere had on his eye. I believe Vecna, we may have heard his voice at the time. It's been a while, but I feel like I would not forget a kind of chilling and unmistakably alien voice speaking to us.
And Tasha sort of throws in yes, he is not shy to show vestiges of himself to his worshippers. He's a hands-on god, as it was, if a minor one.
Makes sense why he'd have so many followers then. Too many gods aren't around.
Forgive the ignorance that this question will probably display, but could we not, if we get close enough to him to ring this bell, could we not just end him? Pound his skull into mist, remove his hands and shove them down his throat, things like that.
Tasha sort of gives you if you can, certainly do. But he is a god. Even a reduced god is still a god. The rod, if, as Mordenkainen says, can weaken him and the bell can dispatch him, would send him to Earth, depriving him of most of his followers. That would certainly be advisable before contesting directly with him. If our wish cannot stop his ritual as it is, I doubt that, skilled as you may be, you would have such luck.
Montgomery tells us you have an artifact in the form of a deck of cards. Would this
beg pardon?
perhaps help? Montgomery, what were you telling us of this?
Deck of many twangs, I think you said?
No, it was it's the deck of many things.
Deck of many things.
But I didn't realize this is who actually owned the deck, right? The reason I was searching for the deck was because it's an object of chaos, and I think it should be, curtailed.
And Tasha looks over at Illustrial. You don't. And Illustrial's like, I acquired it to keep it out of the wrong hands. But yes, I do have a deck of many things in storage at the moment. To the best of my ability, I intend to keep it there. Why do you ask?
No, that was my intent for researching it, was to keep it away from getting out into the wild, so to speak. But I didn't realize that it was already in such good company, or had a good warden, I guess.
I do what I can. Such a item is a bit fickle. The gods or beings who brought it into existence do like their entertainments, so I don't think I'll be able to hold on to it forever. But I will certainly try.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would never draw from it.
Yes, of course. Never.
Hard with a name like Fortune to not want to draw at least one card to test.
And see, and that's exactly why it needs to be protected.
I would tend to agree. From stories, while some good may come of it, it's easy to grow greedy and bring yourself to ruination. I would say such a reward would not be beyond your expectations should you succeed, but I would counsel you to think of something else.
Maybe another time. It does seem a bit too soon to risk everything to fate, but I do hope it. Should we wish to draw a card at some point, you would be inclined to allow us.
Gentlemen, perhaps don't make such sweeping statements in front of one of the most powerful magisters that the entirety of existence has ever seen.
I was being vague enough and non-committal.
All three of them say thank you, and then all three of them look at each other like, talking to me?
Wait, were you not talking about Montgomery? And he stares directly at Telovere just for that brief moment.
Regardless of what happens, if the next best step is to find one of these 7 pieces of the rod, then I have the sneaking suspicion that the tides of magic will not let us do anything but. Witch spells are notorious for keeping people where they don't need to be, except when they do.
Well, I've never been to the Underdark, so it is a new place that I'd be happy to explore, but I believe one of our compatriots may feel otherwise.
It's been a while since I've been there.
And
But this time you won't be alone.
True.
Oh, you have familiarity with the Underdark.
Oh yeah, baby.
Well, this is certainly stacking up. It seems as though our wish spell has done quite well. Tasha's still like,
I spent some time with the Greys myself in Gracklestug.
You were a Gracklestug.
For some time.
Oh. Well, that is interesting.
Maybe if I may be so bold, we're about to be sent to a heavily prairie area to Lolth to find a unique item. I don't think any of us are truly weaponized for heavy combat. We've all have the gear that, at least it looks like everyone has the same gear that we all met with 3 years ago.
let's pause
I
on
have
that.
a nice fine set of leather.
I want to pause on that phrase for just a moment, because I want everybody to then look down, and at this particular time, at this particular point of day, let me ask what you were all wearing. What have you shown up in front of the 3 most powerful wizards in recent memory attired in? And let's say it was 3:30 on a Tuesday. So Las-Dal, at early afternoon, what were you wearing on this particular Tuesday?
I was getting ready for some of my playtime at the studio, so I would be in a nicer looking tunic and pants, and with my yarting.
Okay, sounds good. Duren, how about you? At 3:30 on a Tuesday, what were you attired in?
Well, my usual kind of scale maily,
Mhm.
not super, enough for me to move around in, but I still look fashionable.
Still looking fashionable, and so much space for them to work their art on. All the
Yeah.
smiths are eager to work for the up and coming Durin. Loktar, on this 3:30 on a Tuesday, what did you happen to be attired in, if anything?
having, having spent the last year or so, working on this well, he calls it a temple, but what you may call a fighting ring of some sort. He adorns himself in black robes, and he has a skull over his head. There, worn as a helmet / mask.
Okay,
Identifying himself as a cleric of Hrugek.
sounds good. Fortune?
Uh, Fortune is actually in. He's got his the same kind of dark colors that he's often worn, but it's actually a heavy coat.
Mhm.
He was recently up in the spine of the world before he ended up here, doing a little bit of exploring in the mountains. So he's dressed for far colder temperatures than normal.
Sounds good.
So he's extra furry today.
Extra furry today. Montgomery, on this 3:30 on a Tuesday, what were you attired in?
Oh, he would have probably been studying more spells and stuff, so he just has on some nice looking robes.
Sounds good.
Definitely not an armor or anything, right? He only wears that if he's getting in the middle of something.
Sure. Telovere, what were you doing 3:30 on a Tuesday?
Telovere was honestly 10 to 1. He was probably reviewing some stuff and in the middle of some uh, scientific inquiries into the mortal form. So I'd like to think he kind of showed up with his normal kind of like grayish, blackish, greenish robes. Probably like little stained. He's got his staff in one hand, and then his other hand was literally holding like a human spleen.
Okay.
And he's just kind of been holding it this whole time, like making sure it doesn't drip blood on the floor. Like,
And so I think kind of as Las-Dal is saying that statement about our current attire, and they all sort of say look at you and say, yeah, yes, magic is sometimes a bit abrupt. We'll get you back to your home so you can prepare yourselves. Illustrial, you can take care of that. Tasha sort of says, go do that. And she says, of course, I can arrange for portals. And she gets the locations that you'd want to go to. So that will be kind of as we start to wrap up for this evening and prepare for our next session. What I'm going to give everybody the chance to do is have your level up, spend your money, spend your gold, acquire your stuff, and then come back having now been told that you're off to the Underdark, and have a few days to prepare before you embark on that particular adventure. When you're ready, you will reach out to Illustriel. She will open a portal, bring you back into Sigil, and then send you off to an area near Web's Edge. If there's anything else that you would like to do between then and now, or any further conversation you'd like to have with the trio of wizards, you can certainly do so. But I think it's probably nearing time to turn it loose for a little more player conversation, character conversation, etc. But do you have any further questions or conversation for the three exhausted wizards?
I have one question.
Sure, Montgomery.
I'm not looking for any compensation for this because it's obvious that the greater good and the balance of things needs to be. This is a course of action that needs to be followed. But I do need access to a sending spell. Is that something that you guys could grant me before we leave?
Ascending spell.
Yes.
We could certainly make arrangements for such a thing. and they sort of look amongst themselves, and um, after a little bit of conversation, who's going to ante up. One of them, I believe there is a ring of sending. I will double check myself on my magical items, but they offer you the ring.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Especially seeing how we're going to be plane traveling.
Of
Wait, are
course.
we just handing out magical items?
That's
Well-
kind of what I was trying to get going there.
Well, not exactly handing them out, but anything that we can do to improve the effort. Why? What have you need of?
I mean, if you got any magic weapons, I'll take them.
Do you have a preference of style?
Oh, I would like a longsword.
I think such can be arranged.
Yeah,
You said
do
Holy
have any-
Avenger?
You got any armor of the mithril variety?
And all three sort of look at each other. We're more cloth.
Had a feeling. I do have a question for just kind of like the year that's passed. Would I have been able to like commission someone to make like special armor?
Yes. So if you have the money, and you will have the time.
Okay, here's the thing. So like, what if the thing that I want doesn't have a price on it?
We'll have to
Oh.
figure out what that price is going to be. So
Also, did I make any money off my crypto investment?
we'll
You
have to
lost
It's a
check.
year, a lot can change.
A lot can change. There are some money-making activities we can use as downtime. So we'll see how well you do on your crypto exchange. So we'll take those sorts of things offline, and some of the
Yeah.
magical items we'll roll some dice to see what the answers are. But aside from magic item fishing, anything else folks are doing?
I would actually like to take some time in Sigil, if
Mhm.
you don't mind letting me roam around here while everyone else prepares. I'm largely, keep myself. This is about as prepared as I get generally. Most of my friends are right here, and he beckons to everyone.
You don't want any. You don't need magical daggers. You already got it.
I mean, I could use some. You never know when you're going to meet something too stupid to be affected by psychic daggers.
Yeah, you got anything good like Staff of the Magi? We'll take that if you got that.
Book of
Not
Elvenkind, maybe?
spare, no. But we will certainly check and see what can be freed up for you. And we'll look into some of those things. A little exploring of Sigil, I think I hear there. Anything else going on? All right. So we'll wrap
I
up
don't know what to ask for.
We'll wrap up a little bit early this evening. We'll let all the players go ahead and get their level ups done. We'll talk through some rewards and such things. And then we'll pick back up at level 11 with adventure ready to go. Thanks everybody for playing. Thanks everybody for hanging out in the chat there. And yep, some of you know Sigil, and some of you know the trouble that Fortune might be getting into. But we'll see how all that plays out and do a little bit of off-screen sharing as we prep for our next area. Congratulations all on surviving my Sorrow Sworn, who had some very nasty traps into it there. And well done on gathering up the treasure. Anybody got any shout outs we want to do before we start looking at where we might be raiding off to?
Man, props to Montgomery for calling that 33 and then rolling it. That was amazing.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen.
I still can't believe I was. What was so amazing was like all these different numbers were just like popping in my head as each one of you were going, and then when it got to me, it's like 33 just popped in my
Yeah.
head, and I said,
Yep.
"Okay, 33." You know,
It was
Bigger
awesome.
words.
You were the last one too, and everything. And then you're like, "Oh, I'm not much of a."
Yeah,
guy."
we were all
It
like,
was almost like
"It's
retrying to
not
just
gonna-
lose it there. Wow.
Not gonna happen for us. Here we go.
I
That's
kept
it.
going back to 33, but just because the number is a nice number, 33, it's a perfect, beautiful number itself. And I didn't say it, and then you did and got it. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't say it. If you would pick something else, never would have happened. Everything would have been awful.
Yeah, that's true. Because I probably would have picked something else, right?
I will also say well done on the choice, the D4 afterwards to get the diamond so that you have the appropriate effect for you, dinging the
Oh yeah,
undead with its radiant light.
that's gonna be interesting.
So we'll see how that goes, and kind of the theory of each of you maybe will end up with your own little bubble of trouble for the rest of the characters.
Oh God, I forgot.
It
So
adds a fun
I'd also
element
like
to the
to-
battle, man.
I'd also like to shout out my cat. She made quite the number of appearances tonight, and I saw people talking about her in the chat.
absolutely, always
Yeah,
enjoy
I
a good
normally.
cat cameo.
Yeah, I usually try and watch the chat, but I didn't tonight. I was so focused on what we were doing.
Had a lot of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, I was nervous about the treasure, and then that room, and then
I'm still wondering what the bad. There has to be some kind of ill effect for us just taking that stuff the way we did. I kept
Hey,
waiting
listen.
for something to happen.
We'll see.
If
I'm
there
right there with
is,
you.
you don't know what it is yet. But we'll get that there. So thanks everybody. Cryo, thanks for the quick follow there. We'll be heading over to the Lollygaggers in just a moment. Looks like they've got something going on there. If you like what we're doing and want to come hang out, do please swing by the Discord. That is where we recruit folks who are going to be playing in these games. Please don't make you chase you down. I do that occasionally. 5 of these folks made me chase them down. But it's a lot easier if you're hanging out in the Discord, and you also get first dibs on joining in some stuff. I think we've got our final session of brain just locked up. OSE game. Alex, help.
Zintolin?
Thank you. Final session of Zintolin's coming up, so if you'd like to take part in that, hop in and say hi. Otherwise, look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, everybody, and have a great night.
See you later, Captain
Adios.
Floki hiding out there
Good
in
night,
chat.
everyone.
Say it again.
See my buddy Captain Floki hiding out in chat.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Thanks for heading out.
The one telling me I need to roll poorly earlier.
Encouragement is helpful. Thanks, everybody. Catch you soon. Bum,
Good night,
bum,
everybody.
bum.